Hello everyone, welcome along to today's video. We have coming up the final for the Corolla Cup here to start with, and then later on in the video will be the final of the Lamborghini Trophy AM class. So we're here at Sardegna for the final. So this was run on Monday, so apologies for the delay getting the video out to you, but it is here to run through all the action for this final round. As you can see up on the screen at the moment, we have the current points going into this final round for the Corolla Cup. So it's starting on 146, Ayrton on 121, Lieutenant Dan on 106, followed by Old Pete on 92, and Racy Davey on 92 as well. And then you've got Danzo there on 91, Rich Pugh on 80, Johnny Tattoo on 68, and then Oggy there on 45, Spider on 45 as well, Henny there on 40, Floxy on 32, and Florenz there on 15. Let's now run through the qualifying order for tonight's race. So we have all the drivers here on the grid for the start of the Corolla Cup final round. We're going to run through the starting order. So it's Tartan on pole, followed by Humphrey Mike here in second. Beautiful helmet there for Humphrey Mike. Ayrton now in P3. You've got Racy Davey there in P4. Then you've got Old Pete in P5. Egbert in P6, another fantastic looking suit and helmet there for Egbert. And then you've got Danzo in P7. And then you've got My Dunk there in P8. Lieutenant Dan in P9. And then Foxy in P10. And then rounding out the field is Jones there in P11. So we have all the drivers lined up on the grid. We have the lights now coming on, and they are underway. Tartan gets off to a slow start, so something might take the lead. Tartan's going to come under pressure here from Ayrton and Racy Davies looking to go through the middle there as well. So Racy Davies made a phenomenal start, coming up and into the lead as they come down and into the first corner here. Everyone getting the scrolling. Lieutenant Dan up between three, and we've got a big incident in turn one, dropping to the back of the field. I believe that was Ayrton's dropping all the way to the back of the field there, but Racy Davies in P1 and Lieutenant in P2, so Lieutenant moving up the field massively. Tartan's dropped down into P5. So Tartan now back up into P4 as everyone gets through the first corner. Sorry, the first one, the third corner section is here, but the main winner in that situation was Lieutenant Dan. Let's have a look and go down to the field and see who is relaxing. We don't get P5, Dan's on P6, Egbert in P7, she's in P8, followed by Old Pete in P9, and Old Pete moving up into P8, Foxy dropping into P9 there, Ayrton in P10 now, so moving back upward, and Jones in P11, but it is Racy Davey in P1, Lieutenant Dan in was P2, and you've been overtaken by Humphrey Mike there in the background, and dropping down into P3, and Tartan in P4, and Tartan now back on the hunt these two podium drivers in second and third at the moment, and we get Tartan wide out to Humphrey Mike going wide, and then there's three abreast going into the really sharp left-hander. Tartan backs up really early, but just go around the inside. Tartan gets the inside line and is back up into that P4 spot, but it is the main winner from lap one was Racy Davey, who is away there in front. You can see the gap that Racy Davies got in front as they come around and complete the first lap here. So Racy Davey there completing the first lap. Lieutenant Dan in P2, Humphrey Mike was in P3, but now going around the outside of Lieutenant Dan's again going sideways in the background there. Everyone is all over the place at the moment in this race. So it's a 20-minute race, and we are 2.5 minutes in, so a lot of action still to come in this one. As you can hear cars in the background there, some going very wide and over the grass and over the curb. Great battle between Lieutenant Dan and Tartan at the moment for P3 and P4, and it is Tartan there who has got up into that P3 spot. Tartan up into P3 is in the background, doesn't look like have got someone in fact after yours. So Humphrey Mike's in P2, Ray Stevie in P1 as they all come up the hill. We do have someone quite far back down there, which is Jones there in P11. Looks like they had a bit of an incident and a drop off the pack, but it is Racy Davey still in the lead. Humphrey Mike in second. Tartan hunting Humphrey Mike down there in P3. Coming around the blind left-hander. Racy Davey doing a fantastic job at the moment. Has got himself a nice little bit of a comfortable gap at the back. Humphrey Mike in P2, still Tartan in P3, hunting Humphrey Mike down. Lieutenant Dan there in P4, pushing on to the back of the podium places as well. Ayrton coming back through the pack, was last at the first lap, now up to P5. Ayrton pushing on as well. Tartan with the fast lap of the race, 1:51.704. And then we've got Danzo in P6, who does have my back right behind and Egbert behind as well. So it's a three-way fight here between these drivers. They both look to go on the inside, thinks about it. Gets a little bit sideways, so there's Egbert in the background. Egbert trying to control the car, but losing that place there. As Danzig is very wide, so he's going to give Madonna another run. He's going around the outside. Going to potentially tuck back in and get that toe up the hill, but there's four cars in a fight here for that 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th place positions. Anyone going to be brave on the brakes into Canada? No, but Danzo does run wide, so Danzo off into the race, going to lose some positions there as Egbert goes wide to try and get around it, but hits into the wall. So the main winner out of that one, old Pete up into P6. As they all come around towards and completing out this lap, the last sharp ball, this left-hander here. Old Pete running a little bit wide on the exit, but gets the power down and is away. Ayrton has managed to push on now to the back of Lieutenant Dan, so is slipstream engaged here for Ayrton. Ayrton getting into the back of this battle here. And up and into P4 for Ayrton. Tartan in P3 on the back of Humphrey Mike now, who is on the back of Racy Davey. So just like at the moment, it's potentially a five-way fight for podium places and the win at this stage, as they are now on halfway through lap 4. Make it round that shot call. The Tartan closing up massively on Humphrey Mike in the breakers in there. Lieutenant Dan staying with Ayrton there in P5 and 6, and we do have some changes in the back, so have a look through them. So we've got Ayrton there in P4, Lieutenant Dan in P5, and now it is Egbert up into P6. Egbert's got a pass, which wasn't really just over a lap ago, so we've got P6, and then Danzo is in P7. My dog in P8, she's in P9, Old Pete in 10th, and then Jones there with a pass penalty in P11. But here's the back before the lead again, to the leaders. Racy Davey still holding on to that lead. Humphrey Mike in P2, and Tartan in P3. Racy Davey doing a phenomenal job here. Since got the lead, has managed to control the pace of this race out the front. And he's bringing Humphrey, Mike and Tartan along for the ride as well. And Ayrton is trying to push on to get to the back of this fight. And then with behind him just Lieutenant Dan at the moment. You should see the back of Ayrton getting a little bit sideways on the exit of that corner. And into the braking zone. They go for another time into this sharp left-hander, but not the sharpest on the track. To come through this bendy S section up towards the blind left-hander, which is a bit sketchy corner if you get this one wrong. You want to try and carry as much speed as possible. Racy Davey gets very sideways and hits into the wall. Tarn goes past both drivers on up into P1. Tartan taking the lead of the race. I think Humphrey might have to do some avoiding action or Racy Davey hitting the barrier. It is Tartan now who takes the lead. The championship leader is in the lead of the final hit. So Tartan up into P1. Racy Davey is dropped to P2. Humphrey Mike down to P3. Ayrton in P4, not too far behind. Lieutenant Dan in P5 with Egbert not too far behind now, so Egbert closing up on Lieutenant Dan, bringing Danzo along for the journey as well. Fruxy is in P8 now, with my doctor in P9. Old Pete there in P10, and Jones in P11. Is the Tartan in P1 again as we just go over the halfway stage of the race, so just over 10 minutes into this 20-minute racing. So Tartan pulling out a bit of a gap here. Racy Davey still has Humphrey Mike for company. And we can just about see Ayrton's car in the background now as well, so I think there is potentially a 3-car fight now for second and third, as long as Tartan doesn't make any mistakes. Racy Davey goes very wide and into the wall again. We said how difficult that blind corner can be, and you just got to touch the glass there and it does put you all over the road, and unfortunately for Racy Davey into the barrier that time. So that is bringing Ayrton onto the back now, even more so of this battle. Ayrton not too far behind and currently lapping in the 1 minute 52s. And on that last lap, Racy Davey was a 1 minute 54, and the lap before for that, Racy Davey was a 1 minute 54. But there's 2 mistakes into that blind left-hander. Humphrey Mike is comfortably in the 52s on the last lap. The one before obviously had to avoid an action, but then the ones before that were in the 52s again. Tartan's last lap was the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 51.591. So Tartan is definitely stretching the legs of his Corolla at the moment as he goes purple through sector 1. Tartan pulling away now a bit from the other front runners behind. Humphrey Mike's got himself a nice little bit of a gap there to Racy Davey now in third. So Humphrey Mike having a good race. Up to this point he did lose the place at the start, but has moved back up into P2. Racy Davey as well, having a good run as they come towards the blind corner again for the 7th time. Racy Davey just keeping the cross, but Ayrton does it in the background as well. Ayrton manages to keep it out of the barrier and into the braking zone with Ayrton. So currently P4 having a phenomenal racing all the way down to last. Has recovered well and got himself up into P4 at this stage, and the podium is definitely on the cards. Lieutenant Dan there in P5 has made up some places so far in this race, so it is moving forward. But you do have Egbert not too far behind. They're running in 6th. Is Egbert currently. He's having a good race, Egbert is. Danzo there in P7. Still on the back of this battle for 5th, 6th and 7th between these 3 drivers. Fortunately in P8. And my dunk there with Old Pete quite close together for 9th and 10th. And then Jones there in P11. Not too far, only a corner, 2 corners behind Old Pete. It is still Tartan in the lead. Did do another fastest lap for the race. A 1 minute 51.319 for Tartan. As Tartan comes round to complete 8 and go on to lap 9, we have 5 minutes remaining for this race. So we should get 3 laps in for the lead pack. As you see, Ayrton is into the back now of Racy Davey. Is and definitely on the hunt for a podium in this race. Race Davey set the personal best sector on that. But is it enough to keep Ayrton at bay? As we get a change of position behind, so Egbert is now into P5, was into P5, but Lieutenant Dan goes around the outside. He's going to run wide on the exit. Lieutenant Dan into the cross there. So it's a battle between Lieutenant Dan and Egbert. Lieutenant Dan does get a half-second penalty for track limits there. Egbert tucking in behind as they make it round the blind corner. Danzo is in this fight as well. Lieutenant Dan's obviously going to get that penalty in the penalty zone, which is down the start from the straight. Egbert going very defensive and reaching against the wall there. It's giving Lieutenant Dan a little bit of breathing space, but Lieutenant Dan will serve that penalty, which is going to affect straight line speed all the way down the straight as Danzo and Lieutenant Dan get side by side, but Lieutenant Dan losing that on 2 positions there. With Danzo up into P6 and Egbert into P5. So Egbert having a phenomenal race here and moving up into P5 under pressure a little bit from Danzo as Danzo looks to go to the inside. Was there a little bit of contact there? Egbert onto the gravel but does make it through. Manages to keep the momentum up as we do have in front a change of position as well, because Racy Davey has dropped down to P4. And it is Ayrton up into the podium, so from 11th to 3rd in this race for Ayrton. Having a great race. Ayrton is. Action all over the place currently in this race with 2 minutes remaining. So this could be the last laps coming up because we are 18 minutes, just over 18 minutes into this race. Tartan in P1 is going to come round and complete this lap and get on to the next one. But I don't believe there'll be one after that unless he manages to do a phenomenal lap time, which it is at the moment. He's done another fastest lap, which is 1 minute 51.075 there for Tartan. As comes around to finish out lap 10 and on to lap 11, which will be the last lap of the race. So we'll run down through the order for this last lap. So Tartan is in the lead currently. Humphrey Mike in P2 with a nice gap over Ayrton in P3. As a considerable gap now back to Race Davey in P4. Who again has a gap back to Egbert in P5. But Egbert has got Danzo for company. So 5 and 6 looks like we've got a battle on this last lap. So Danzo there in P6, just following Egbert through the first corner. Lieutenant Dan not too far behind this battle there in P7. Running a bit wide on the exit and on to the gravel. Foxy there in P8 with, I don't, not too far behind the two here as well, and Hawkey in P10. And just coming up onto the last lap, we have Jones there in P11. So just coming round to finish out the race and the championship, it only seems fitting that we stay with Tartan. He's won the championship. He's had a lot of first place in this championship. He's currently on a purple lap as well. So can he get himself into the 1 minute 50 lap times as he rounds out the real last braking zone on the track? The second to last corner, the only one that he really needs to concentrate on, as it's now full throttle all the way to the line for Tartan. Your Corolla Cup Championship winner and the winner for round 10, rounding it out and taking the checker flag, and it's Tartan in P1. Humphrey Mike about to cross the line in P2 to take a podium here tonight, with Ayrton, who went from last to third, into P3. Racer Davey taking P4. Great race from Racer Davey as well. Egbert is going to have a little bit of a drag race to the line with Danzo for that P5. It is going to be Egbert who takes the P5 and Danzo in P6. Lieutenant Dan will take the P7s, celebrating his P7, and it's Foxy in P8, Dank in P9, Old Pete in P11, and we've got Jonesy just rounding out onto the start finish straight now. He will take the P11, but a fantastic championship in the Corolla Cup. Congratulations to the podium places for tonight and for the championship. And special mention to Tartan for a phenomenal championship for him, with some great driving and also the training he's provided in that also. So that was the Corolla Cup. We will now move on to the Lamborghini AM Championship, and we'll see what happened when the Lambos came out on track. So we are here for the final round of the Lamborghini AM Trophy, and here are the current standings before tonight's action. So it is Reedy in P1 on 129 points, Josie there in P2 on 122, Mario in P3 on 109, Foxy Dev P4 108, and then we've got Spitfire CC there on 100, Gear Kayla on 85, Dog Lucky on 78, Petrol Blake on 65, Baldy there on 51, Richard Pugh on 50, Nemesis on 13, and Seymour Gamer on 10, and T-Jam there on 8 points. Let's run through how the guys qualified for this one. So the qualifying order for tonight's final here is Craig there in P1, Mario lined up on P2, Kayla in P3, Jose in P4, Petrol Bloke P5, and then you got Reedy in P6, Foxy Dev in P7, and you got Simdog there in P8, Rich Pugh in P9, Egbert in P10, Humpy Mike in P11. You got Brojan. I'm probably going to fudge his name quite a lot tonight, so apologies for that. In P12, and Lieutenant Dan there in P13. Let's get the action underway here. So we are back here for round 10 of the Lamborghini AM Trophy as the safety car gets the driver's way for the safety car lap. So finalise to get the drivers off the line. So it's for anyone that hasn't seen the action before, it's a 40-minute race with tyre wear and fuel wear, but they are open on tyre choice and obviously can fuel save to go a bit longer into the race. Also, we do have obviously the safety car that is driving the cars around. Now you see the safety car get called out if the driver gets 3 parts of damage, any 3 parts in one incident, or just gets engine damage on its own. Then the safety car will get called out on to the track, collect the 3 cars up and drive them around till the field bunches back up like they are at the moment. But we'll run through the tyre choices for the drivers for the start of the race. So on pole is Craig on a racing mediums, followed by Mario on the racing soft, so a different strategy already. So P2 Mario on the racing softs, Kayla on the racing mediums in P3, Jose there on the racing mediums as well, Petrol Bloke on to the mediums also. Reedy there, the championship leader, has gone for racing soft, so another driver on the soft tire, followed by Dev on the racing mediums, Simple there on the mediums as well, Rich Pugh on the mediums also, followed by Egbert on the softs, Humphrey Mike on the mediums, Brojan on the mediums, and Lieutenant Dan on the mediums also. So, finalise just leading the drivers round to the last braking zone part of the track, which is where he will hand over the pace to Craig, and then Craig will lead the cars up to the start line. So finalise there, pulling away, and off into the pits the safety car will go, and handing the pace of the race over to Craig. So we may see finalised again, we may not. We'll see if there's any incidents in this race, but it is back to Craig, who will be leading the car around in a very nice tight formation as we head towards the start finish straight, accelerating up towards 90 miles an hour, so it's 90 mile an hour maximum. And underway we go. So Craig leading the cars away, getting a great start there. So Craig in P1, Mario there in P2, with Kayla in P3, losing out of position to Jose, who's going around the outside and looks like he's got the job done, and up into P3 for Jose. Petrol Bloke in P5, Reedy in P6, Proxy in P7, Symbol then making a move around the outside and onto the gravel, into the barrier, and back into the barrier as well, so getting all sorts of damage there, so 3 parts of damage, so we potentially might see a safety car come out track, because we do have Symbol with 3 parts of damage, and down into 13th, and it looks like, yep, it has been reported that the safety car is out on track, so we do have a safety car situation. So Finalise is out on track, So Craig will now slow down and drive around until he picks up the pack. So Craig obviously still in P1, Mario in P2. Jose made up a position there and made it into P3 before the safety car was deployed. Kayla in P4, Petroblow P5, Reedy in P6, Foxy Dev in P7, Rich Q in 8, Kickback in P9, Humphrey Mike in P10, Wigan into 11, and then Lieutenant Dan in P12, and Sindog, who has the damage there, in P13. So more than likely come into the pits to change over those parts and get the damage removed. And it's come around towards the pits. So Simdog into the pits to get rid of that damage that occurred on turn 3 of the opening lap, and Finalize will lead the cars around for another lap, which will give Simdog a chance to catch back up after repairing the damage. So they changed the cars over and fixed all the damage, and Simdog is back out on track. So not too far to catch up to the back of the pack. They are just going round before the single can be inserted on earlier on in the race. And just go back, you can see the tyre marks off into the gravel on the right hand side there. And you can see the back of the field, so Sindog is catching back up. And it's pretty much now with the field, as you can see there is the back of the field. So Finalize leading the cars around. Ignore the blue flag warning. He is the safety car. So Craig in P1 on mediums, saving a bit of fuel as well behind the safety car, which could potentially, this race is very fuel dependent, this track, not tyre dependent. So the safety car that we got here could give the drivers enough chance to save enough fuel to turn this into a 1-stop instead of a 2-stop. As we are 7 minutes into the 40-minute event, and we have really only had 3/4 of a lap at full chap. Definitely saving some fuel here and some tyres as well. Craig will take over the pace now, and it is at his discretion as soon as the safety car's in the pits at when he wants to pull away. And looks like he has gone for it. He's up to full acceleration. So Craig in P1 crossing the line, does get a nice little gap over Mario and gets the action back underway into the first braking zone. Brake up just around the 100-meter board into turn 1, which is a nice cambered corner. Turn 2 is flat out onto this little straight, which leads you into turn 3, which is where we saw all of the action for the safety car. And then that immediately turns into a right-hander just after that. Want to avoid running wide as Mario gets a little bit squirrely behind Craig there. I think he was trying to move out and get around Craig. But Craig doing a great job on the medium tyres to hold off Mario behind. So Mario P2. Jose just behind in P3. And behind them we have Petroblow in P4, who's leading this battle between Gear Kayla and Reedy. Gear Kayla gets up the inside of Reedy for position there. And we've got Reedy in P6 as these two drivers are nice and close coming into the blind left-hander. As Giacchino goes right and Reedy hits the wall there and it's got 4 parts of damage, so that is going to be another safety car. Out on track, so we do have a safety car. Out on track, Reedy has 4 parts of damage. So nice and close to the pits, will come into the pits. Giacchino is in the pits as well. So I believe Giacchino got a bit of damage from that also. Reedy coming into the pits. Was on the soft tyre. Will be getting all of the damage repaired, the 2 parts of aero damage and the wheel damage. Wheel damage is repaired because the tyres are being changed. And just making some adjustments to the aero to get that repaired as well. And fuel going in also. So full tank of fuel and the damage repaired and out pits. Comes Reedy. So we'll catch back up to the pack for the restart again. So finalise there, leading the cars around. With Craig still in that P1, and we've only really done a lap and a half so far at full chat, so still plenty of fuel to Craig. Mario in P2. So Craig still in the lead behind the safety car. The safety car will pull away and Craig will take over the start of the race. So is it Craig's discretion when we get underway? And Craig has got the action back underway, so that is now a green flag on track as Craig leads the cars back into turn 1. As they get round and into the start of the race underway again, as you get in the background Petrovic running a little bit wide. It is Craig still in the lead, Mario there in P2, Jose P3, followed by Petrovic in P4, Foxy Dev in P5. Followed by Richard Pugh up in P6, so a great start, opening 2 laps from Richard Pugh, Hungry Mike in P7. Simdog after the earlier incident up into P8 with Giacchino in P9, Egbert in P11, so using it to place there, dropping to P12, and Lieutenant Dan there in P13. And obviously we do have the safety car returned into the pits and ready if we need to finalise that again. It is Craig in the lead at this moment in time. Craig currently P1. Followed by Mario in that P2 slot, and Mario obviously on the soft tyre, so nice and close behind Craig. But Craig has saved more fuel than Mario, so can go longer into the race, which is definitely looking more like a one-stop strategy at this moment in time. You can just listen to the roar of these Lamborghinis as they come up the hill. As up the hill we go, and back onto the little kick up a dust there from Craig, but only just a little bit of the tyre running over the curb, so not causing any dramas at this stage in the race. No more safety cars at this point, please. We want to see some action at least. Some laps done under anger. As Craig is coming around to complete a lap, and it will be the fastest lap of the race momentarily, as then Mario does set the fastest lap of a 1:38.474. And Jose in P3, followed by Petrol Bloke in P4. Foxy Dev in P5 currently, followed by Humphrey Mike up into P6. Sindog's up into P7. Rojan is up into P8. Reedy is up into P9 and does have some damage after the earlier incident in the race. Has some front error and front wheel damage, and is under pressure from Gear Kayla, who's on the racing soft and doesn't have any damage on the car as well. And Gear Kayla moving up into that P9, has the inside line for the corner, so it's a place made up for Gear Kayla there. Reedy is brought down to P10, P10 down in P11, then we've got Eggbert in P12, and Richard Hugh, who also has damage, front and front wheel damage, in 13th. And finally, still in pits. It seems we are not unsafe, and Craig's made a massive gap as Mario shot P4. So Craig P1 still, with a nice gap to Jose in P2. Petroglyph is up into P3, and Mario, who's got front error and front wheel damage, which is going to slow Mario down. So the front runner on the soft compound tyre has picked up some damage and has got back to P4. So a bit of an incident there for Mario, dropping him back down the field, unfortunately. Mario having to live with that damage until we do get to the pit window, which I believe is, I reckon these guys are going to run as long as possible. Maybe not Mario because of the damage, but we are fastly approaching the window of, but as we get in the background we get Humphrey Mike running wide, but no damage there for Humphrey Mike, so luckily we escaped there. As I believe you can hit around the 20-minute mark and make the one-stop work, as we get a car going round in the background. So who is that going round in the background? Let's go down through the order, and that was Lieutenant Dan, I believe, going round in the background. So he gets front aero and front wheel damage. Egbert there also has front error and front wheel damage. Richard Pugh has been into the pits. I don't believe Richard will be able to make this last to the end of the race. So Richard will need to make another pit stop. But if we do get a safety car, can get under the safety car, so may get a free pit stop later on in the race. As Egbert comes into the pits to repair the damage. Now could potentially make this last 20 minutes with a bit of fuel saving. It could. Potentially make the fuel last as we just also the halfway stage of the race as of now. So he's just leaving the pits after halfway stage, which Pugh coming in again has got damage again from there. So could make it last from this stage. This could be Richard's second pit stop, but the leaders are going to come on through. And it is Craig in the lead. So no, Craig with a massive gap at the moment. You can just make out the other cars in the background. Richard has just come out the pits just in front of Craig. That will obviously potentially start to get blue flags in a minute. Yeah, as we do get blue flags out on track. Let Richard know that he does have a faster car approaching from behind. Craig in a commanding position at the moment. Geek Halo though with the fastest lap, 1 minute 36.967 at the stage of the race. Jose in P2, Petrobloke still in P3, Mario P4, hasn't come in to repair his damage, he's the only one that hasn't repaired the damage. So Mario, the driver that has got damage but hasn't come in to repair it. Still running in P4 but does have 100 mic, not too far behind now. Dev there in P6. Here Kayla, who has the fastest lap of the race, pushing on. And currently in P7. Dog recovering well, up to P8 at the moment. Tyre wear on the rear right off the front and rear left, but not too much fuel left. So we'll have to push shortly for the fuel. Program there in P9, reading in P10 with front error and front wheel damage still. Lieutenant Dan as well, front error and front wheel damage as well. Egbert obviously repaired the damage earlier on, and Rich Pugh in 13th, but does have P2 quite close behind now. As we get Humphrey Mike coming into the pits. Now, a full tank of fuel should make it from this point in the race. So, new set of tyres on there for Humphrey Mike and fuel going in as well. And out on track and underway. So Egbert in P12, Rich Pugh moving out for the other drivers. As we have Craig, still nice comfortable lead and enough fuel to keep going in this race. I reckon for at least another 2 laps we're going to see Craig out on track. He's got the fuel, he's got the tyres, he's doing the lap times that he needs to do, and commanding lead at the moment for Craig is ventures into the 37.5s there. As we do see a lot of action in the pits behind, so Craig in P1, Jose P2 and Petrovic in P3. Petrovic will make it round on this lap very low on fuel. Brojan moves up to P4. Gear Kayla is in the pits and just pulling up to his mark there. And the fuel going in the car for Gear Kayla. And obviously Deb also in the pits. Simdog in the pits as well. Mario will just be repairing some damage and then we'll be out. So Mario is coming up just behind Gear Kayla. So something might move up into P5. Gear Kayla into P6. Mario dropping to P7. Deb in P8. Simdog in P9. Really there in P10. Lieutenant Dan just in the pits there, repairing the damage and coming out now. Relatively close behind will be Egbert just coming down the start finish straight as well, and then Rich Pugh in 13th. As we have Craig coming around, is he going to do another lap or is he going to come with... No, doing another lap, so making it even longer. 25 minutes into the 40-minute event. At this stage of the race. So we see Jose coming into the pits. Now where can Jose get out? Got to be aiming for P4 exit here. Let's call it just making it in. Brojan making it as well. So can Jose get in and out and remain in P2? Now it's all going to be a case of how much fuel is Jose going to take on at this part of the race. With only 15 minutes left. I don't believe it will need to be a full tank here, but they're just shy at 95% full. So Jose making out in P2. Now is Petrol Bloke going to retain that P under fuels and comes out right into the thick of the action here, dropping down to P6, getting the car up to speed as quickly as possible and maintaining P6 just with Foxy Dev just behind. Simdog in P8, Brojan is in P9, Reedy in P10, Lieutenant Dan there in 11th, Egbert is in 12th and just going across the grass. And Rich Pugh getting the car back going again after what looks like a spin and front aero damage. There's Craig now coming into the pit, so the leader is in the pits for his one and only pit stop of the night, making it to 27 minutes in the race before coming into the pit, so easily going to be just doing a one stop here. Now taking on the fuel as we see what I believe is Richard Pugh going past and lap himself, so car going past him was not for position. Okay, taking on a full tank just to be sure he's got the time really on track to be able to do so, and is out and underway. So comes in from the lead and returns in the lead, taking on another set of mediums. He definitely could have gone on to a soft set, but he's got the gap. There's a no-risk strategy, out on track and underway with Jose behind, but Jose is on the softs. So Jose could be closing up that gap. It's now Humphrey might up into P3. Now Humphrey could potentially make it on the fuel, might need a bit of fuel saving there. Gear Kayla recovering well from the earlier incident that part of what caused his safety car. Is there in P4, so recovering well is Gear Kayla. Mario there in P5. 3/4 of tank of fuel for Mario. Petrol Bloke there in P6. Foxy Dev in P7 on a soft set tyres as well. With Petrol Bloke in front on the mediums. That's going to be a interesting battle as well. I believe it's probably gone towards the end of the race. Simdog there in P8. recovering well from the first lap safety car. He sent him to the back of the field. Collision there in P9 with Reedy in P10. Lieutenant Dan in P11, Egbert in P12, and Richard Pugh in P13. As Craig completes his outlap and is back up to full speed. As we are now approaching the 30-minute mark in the race, so 10 minutes remaining. Just coming around the fourth corner and onto the little straight leading into quite a tight corner. Have some barriers on either side. There's not much runoff here up this track. Making it through and up the hill towards the sharper braking zone. It's quite tight in the midfield as Humphrey Mike has got up into P2, Pierre Kayla up into P3, and Jose is now in P4. So Jose has had a bit of an incident and is now in P4. And gives Humphrey Mike second place. Just over half a tank of fuel remaining for Humphrey Mike, and Humphrey Mike make that fuel loss 10 minutes. That's going to be a strength. So we might see Humphrey Mike having to come back into the pits. Kayla in P3, Trevor has more fuel than Humphrey Mike. As the sun starts to set and the lights are on the cars now. So the battle for the podium is hot up between Gear Kayla, Jose and Mario. Gear Kayla in the podium spot at the moment. Jose drops to P4, but does have a bit more fuel than Gear Kayla, and then Mario there in P5. Unfortunately, they're just collecting a little bit of dust there in the background. Petrol Bloke in P7, Sindog in P8, Collision quite close behind on a soft set of tyres and quite a bit of fuel left as well, so potentially no fuel saving there either to come. Really there in P10, too far behind the main battle after the big lot of damage sustained that pulled out that second safety car. Lieutenant Dan in P11. Egbert's in P12 and Richard Pugh there in 13th. Now Richard Pugh definitely will need to pit again before the end of the race. So might as well potentially look at pitting on this lap because he has got Craig coming up behind now. So get him out of the way of Craig and then would bring him out amongst all the other cars. Slap on a set of softs and just go for some fast laps at this point in the race. As yet, Richard Pugh comes into the pits. So that will release Craig. So Craig doesn't have to worry about the blue flags, which is good obviously for his commanding lead of the race. And into the braking zone for another time. The glow of the disc brakes there off of the Lamborghini. Leading around for another lap. We do have a spinner in the background. Let's see who that was. Obviously, Richard Pugh's in the pits. It's Egbert who does get 2 parts of damage and is trying to get the car pointing back in the right direction. And backbound and underway. Egbert Isbert does have that damage. On the front, on the left, and the front airway. So Lieutenant Dan coming round in P11, really there in P10, really there in P9, not too far behind Sindog who is in P8, with Petrol Bloke in P7, following Gear Kayla has dropped down massive. Gear Kayla from the podium place and now has front aero and front wheel damage as well, and has dropped to 6th place and is under pressure from Petrol in P7. So it's another incident into the wall. You see Sindog in the background going wide. He's going to be under pressure. Bridgen, who is going to break up the inside. Sindog fights back. It's going to be side by side on the exit of the corner, and Sindog does get the exit. So up in keeping that P8 spot as Gia Kayla comes into the pits, looking to repair the damage. The Bridgen going through with Sindog. There, Petrol Bloke up into P6 does have front aero damage and front wheel damage as well. Toxie Dead in P5, Mario in P4, Mario all over the back of Jose, who's in P3, and Humphrey Mike just in front of these as well. But is Humphrey Mike going to have to pit again in this race? Going to make the full last 5 minutes, potentially another 2, maybe probably 3 laps remaining. Maybe 2, it's going to be close. But Humphrey Mike under pressure from Jose, who moves to the inside, but then moves back on to the racing line. It's going to be a fight for the podium for 2nd and 3rd between these 3 drivers, as they have got Egbert just in front, who should move up way, and he does so under the blue flags, so lets the 3 drivers through. So Humphrey Mike leading them through for another lap in that P2 spot. Jose close behind though in P3 with Mario just behind as well. So it's medium tyre versus soft tyre versus soft tyre. Mario's looking the worst for wear on tyres though. Getting a great run though, Mario did out of that first corner. Jose defending the inside and moving up the inside and getting past Humphrey Mike, giving up 2 positions there. So Jose and Mario, as Mario gets round, and Mario gets front aero damage. He's going to have to wait on track to get spun round. Manages to get spun round and underway in P5, but he's going to have that front aero damage. So that now puts Humphrey Mike back up into the podium. So we'll run through the order from the top. So Craig with a commanding lead at this point. He hasn't gone so far in this race with 3 minutes remaining. So it's going to be the next lap and then one after that to round out the action. Craig with the commanding lead in P1. It's on Jose in P2. Has gotten fuel to make it to the end of the race. In the P2 slot. Humphrey Mike there in P3 now. Does Humphrey Mike have enough fuel? It hasn't gone on to red yet. So potentially could make the fuel last. Coming round now with enough time to complete one more lap. And another after that one, so 2 more laps to go. Can Humphrey Mike make that fuel last 2 laps? It's going to be a tall order. Foxy Dev in P4 definitely has enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. Mario with the front aero damage has the fuel. Petrol Bloke with damage and a low fuel as well. As Bridgen in P7 just behind. Reedy is made up into P8. Simdog in P9. Gia Kayla is in 10th. Obviously stopped to repair the damage and get back out on track, and took on a new set of softs it looks like as well. And then we've got Lieutenant Dan in P11, Egbert in P12, and Rich Pugh in P13 with front aero and front wheel damage as well. Now, Craig still in the commanding lead. We'll definitely get round for another lap because we have a minute and 10 seconds remaining. So this will be the start of the final lap of the race for Craig, as Craig crosses the line and starts the final lap of the race. Jose will obviously make it to the line as well in P2. And Foxy Dev in P3 has got past Humphrey Mike. And Humphrey Mike looks like they're going to have to come into the pits for a splash and dash of fuel because only has 7% remaining. So unfortunately it's going to tumble down the order here, as quite a few of the cars are going to get past. So Mario now up into P4, Petrol Bloke into P5. Very low on fuel for Petrol Bloke. I don't think the fuel's going to last for Petrol Bloke. Brojan in P6 now, Reedy up into P7, inheriting a spot as well. Simdog is up into P9, and then Humphrey Mike coming out in... Sorry, Simdog up into P8, Humphrey Mike comes out in P9, and Gia Kayla there in P10. And it is the final lap of the race, as Lieutenant Dan crosses the line and finishes in P11. Just missing out on that extra lap was Lieutenant Dan. Egbert will come through and finish in P12, and Rich Pugh will finish in P13 and should be moving out of the way of the leader Craig, as does so and lets Craig go up the inside, because it's going to be Craig coming around to Deficit finally on the last round of the event take the win. And what the win has been for Craig. He rounds the last corner towards the checker flag. He gets the victory. He has deserved it throughout this championship, and he does take that P1 slot. And great result there from Craig, and I know he'll be absolutely over the moon with that and getting that victory. Jose will take P2. Great drive there from Jose. Foxy Dev will finish in P3. Another fantastic drive, moving up the places. Mario will take P4, which, considering having the spin, is quite a good result there for Mario in P4. Petrol Bloke has run out of fuel, so it is going to be Broden who takes P5. Now, can Petrol Bloke make it across the line in P6? It's going to be tight, but does take P6. Overreedy in P7. Simdog is just run out of fuel and just takes P8 over Humphrey Mike in P9. Gia Kayla will finish in 10th, has just run out of fuel as well. So that rounds out all the action here tonight. Thank you everyone for watching. What a fantastic championship this has been. And whilst you're here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new, and also check out the videos that are appearing on the screen now. Cheers for watching, and we'll be back shortly with some information on the next championship.